So today I thought I would kind of, go down memory lane, step back into the past, and just to kind of look back at how things used to be, the kind of tech that we had to deal with back in the day as it relates to audio and video. Now, while this is mainly an audio channel, we'll talk about two-channel audio and all of that. From time to time, I will step back into a little bit of the, I will touch on a little bit of video here and there, and this is the case today. So, like I said, we're gonna get back. We're gonna go down memory lane, and the good old days. So, in front of me here, I have two VCRs, the good old VCR, the video cassette recorder, right? And I have a little TV here. In terms of the brands, I have a Toshiba VCR and another one called Magnasonic, which is a dual deck. It has a VCR deck and a DVD deck. And over here I have a Toshiba, a small Toshiba CRT, or the good old tube TV. You don't see these anymore. You don't even see them. I remember back in the day, people would put their electronics on the side of the road, for anyone who would like to pick them up. You don't see that happening anymore. But I guess also is it's partly because people are more conscious of the environment right now and the environmental issues that may, damage that can be caused from electronics getting into our into our system. But anyway, let's get back to the meat of the matter. So one of the main reasons, or should I say the main reason why I've been holding on to these relic of the past, so to speak, and I've had these for about maybe 20 years or more now in storage. And the backstory behind all of this is, I'm holding on to them mainly because you don't see these things anymore. And also, for me, the main reason, hopefully one day I will have grandchildren and they're not going to have a clue what these things are unless somebody tell them what it is. And so, I was hoping, or I am hoping that, there is grandchildren in my horizon, in my future, so to speak. Now, as it is right now, that doesn't seem to be the case, at least, this present moment. Now, I have two boys. One is mid-30s and one is turning 30 next month, August of 2026. And as it is right now, I don't see any indication that there are going to be any grandchildren in my future anytime soon. So I don't know. But that's the main reason why I was holding on to these relic of the past, like I said, just to kind of, show them that, okay, this is how it used to be back in the day, guys. This is the kind of tech that we had to deal with, for example, the TV. Back in the day, we would have the rabbit ear on top of the TV, the little antenna, looks like this, and we would get maybe one or two channels, and from time to time, when the reception is bad, we'd have to be moving around that little antenna on top of the TV to kind of improve the reception quality of the channel, so to speak. And these are all analog devices. Analog devices. All right, so that's the TV, a little Toshiba. I think it's like a 15-inch TV. And over here, another Toshiba. You can tell that I really love Toshiba because I have a VCR from Toshiba. This one says Hi-Fi Stereo. And that's where we're going to go today, talking about the hi-fi aspect of these things also. And below the Toshiba here, I have a Magnasonic, like I mentioned. Now, the fact of the matter, I have no idea. Like I said, these have been sitting in storage for about 20 years or so. 18, 20 years. And I have no idea whether or not they're still working. So this is also going to be an experimental video today to figure out whether or not these things are still working. To make, the big fly in the ointment, as they would say, also is that I don't have a remote for any of these things. The remote, I know the remotes are somewhere in my home, but they are buried up somewhere I have no idea. I have searched high and low, left and right to find these remotes, and I can't find them. So I don't know. I really don't know how if I can make any headway. Hopefully I can get them going without the remotes. So the first setup I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hook up the Magnasonic first, the bottom one, to the TV and see how it goes. Now, you will recall, or maybe you may not recall, depending on how old you are watching this. The connection that we had to make, from VCR to TV, we had two options. We could go this way, which is the coaxial way, where we would take an RF output from the back of the VCR into the RF input of the TV, or to simplify things, the coaxial input of the TV. I'm just going to turn it around here so you can see. So as you can see here, we have what is called antenna in and out, and these are basically where I would connect this cable to a coaxial cable. So in this situation, I'm going to connect it to the out of this VCR. All right, and I'm going to connect this end to the in of the TV. But also, you could, depending on the kind of setup that you were swinging back in the day, or you were rocking, you could use RCA out also into your TV. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to take the video out from the VCR and the audio out from the VCR. Okay. And I'm going to go to the in of the TV. Let me just get this out of the way again so you can have a good view of what I'm doing. So I'm going to go to the in here of the TV. All right, so that's the input. Now, the thing about this is that the input, the RCA inputs are on the front of this TV. Okay, I'm gonna just get to the back of the TV to connect this end of the coaxial input, and then I'm gonna see if I can get some any visuals on screen. All right, so my connections have been made. And this is where the rubber meets the road. Let's see what we can get. Out of this. Let me fire up this TV. No, I haven't fired up this TV in quite a while now. And let's see what we have. Okay, so obviously it was the last time I used it, I had it in the video mode, which would be the RCA mode. But so what I want to do, I want to switch it to the to the the coaxial mode. And if you may recall, when you're using the coaxial cable, you always have to have your TV on channel 3. So there it is. That's channel 3. And there's obviously there's some visuals coming in from this VCR into that. All right, so look what I have. VHS tape. Now I was thinking of using an original tape, but I don't know whether or not this thing is gonna eat the tape or not. If it's gonna catch the tape inside. I really don't know. I'm really not sure. But I'm gonna try it with. I'm gonna try it with a homemade tape that I made back in the mid 2000s. I think it was around 2009, 2010. I made this tape. And either way, it was when we had this that huge tsunami on Christmas Day, somewhere in the 2000s, where it demolished and huge shoreline in the Pacific, or was it in parts of Asia? And a lot of people died. When this tidal wave came in. Yeah, so I was watching it in the morning, and I stuck a tape in my VCR just to kind of document it, and I still have this tape to this day. So I'm gonna stick it in here, load it in, and see what I can get from it. So like I said, guys, I don't know whether or not these VCRs are even working. Okay. All right, I hear sounds inside. Obviously something is happening. All right, I'm gonna hit play and see what I can get. Okay, play, hit the play button. So far I'm not seeing anything happening here. Okay, I don't know what's going on. Usually you would see a counter on the VCR deck. So far I'm not seeing anything happening here at all. And I noticed that the DVD logo is on the screen. Let me hit play again. Nothing. But I think I have an idea what the problem might be. Right now it seems as if it is stuck in DVD mode, and I don't have a remote to get it into VHS mode. I don't have a remote to do that, and there's nothing on the screen here that will allow me to switch it from DVD to VHS. So I won't waste much any time longer with this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to fire up the Toshiba and see if I can get something on screen. All right. So yeah, the Magnasonic seemed to be out of the question for today. Okay, let me eject this tape. Eject. Where's the eject button? Eject. Okay, hopefully it doesn't catch the tape while it's coming out. Okay, success. The tape came out without a hitch. That's good. All right, so I'm gonna turn it off, and I'm gonna fire up. I'm gonna connect up the Toshiba and see if I can get something from the Toshiba. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's continue. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just disconnect these cables from the previous VCR. Okay. let me find my out, coaxial output, and my audio video out. And see if this one will be a little bit more forgiving. Okay. Good old VCR. All right, let me fire this up with some power. Okay, I'm gonna drop the tape back inside and see what we get. Okay, I hear the engine going. I'm gonna hit play. Yes, and there we go. Voila! We have something on screen. So this VCR, even though I haven't used it for so many years, is still working, and the TV is still working. Still working. All right. So the signal that I'm getting right now is via the coaxial output of the VCR. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to switch the input of the TV. I'm going to see if I can do it without the remote. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, but I'm going to try channel down and see if it'll go to video. Channel down. Okay, that's channel 2. Okay. So video mode, guys. It went into video mode. And I'm getting a slightly better quality audio coming from this VCR. So there we go. It is working, or they are working. And I think the previous VCR will work. It's just a matter of switching the mode from DVD to VHS. Like I said, I don't have the remote, so that's the reason why I can't do it. All right, so right now everything kind of looks okay, and it can be used. So back in the day, in the day when home theater was just becoming mainstream, one of the things most people would do, or the norm, or should I say the norm, was to get better hi-fi sound. The RCA outputs, the left and right RCA, outputs would be connected to a better, to a power amplifier. So we'll take the audio from the VCR to a power, to an amplifier, and of course the video to the TV. And from doing that, you could fire up some better sound, better sound quality, hi-fi sound. Like on this screen, this Toshiba on the front, it has a little logo which says hi-fi stereo, which indicates that connect this to an amplifier and you get better quality sound. And so that's how we would do it. And a lot of people may not know this, but you could actually record audio to these VHS tapes. You want to have long audio playback, going for hours, you could record audio to these VHS tapes and play it back through an amplifier. You could record in like one of the slower modes. Yeah, not a lot of people seem to have done it, but I've seen it done. It was good for background music playback back in the day when we never had all these streaming services and streaming apps. You record a bunch of vinyl to these things, for background music, and you could have music playing for up to 4-6 hours from a tape if it was recorded, in a slow speed mode. Yeah, so I just thought I would, kind of step back down memory lane today, guys, and just look at how it was back in the day, when we had to contend with all of these old technology. Now, today we are talking about 4K and 8K and high res music. We're talking about it's all WAV files and FLAC, that kind of stuff. High resolution audio. We have our DACs, and we have our we have everything these days at our fingertips. And so, these have become like relics of the past. But, from time to time, it's always good to, to look back, have a little look back and, see how things were back in the day. Now, I just hope that, let me just turn this off, because you never know. These things might have copyright issues, and I don't want to, have any copyright issues. When I upload this video. So I'm just going to eject this thing, and go from there. Yeah. So what should I do? Should I keep them, or should I throw them out? That's the dilemma I'm in right now. Because like I said, I don't seem to have any I don't seem to have grandchildren in my future anytime soon, guys. My guys, they seem to be a bit slow. I had my first son when I was 28, and he's like in his 30s now, and I don't see nothing going on. I don't know. What should I do, guys? You tell me. Should I keep them for nostalgia's sake, or should I dump them? Because they're just taking a lot of space, taking up a lot of space in my house. But nevertheless, it was nice that I was happy that I could share this little walk down memory lane again. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it at least somewhat entertaining. Looking back at these old tube television and VHS as it was back then. I hope it brought back some memories to you. I know this was not so much about audio, but it's always good to mix it up from time to time. All right. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for indulging me and hearing me ramble for the last how many minutes. Give me a little feedback on whether or not you think I should hold on to these a little bit longer. Maybe you can predict the future and give me an idea about whether or not there might be grandchildren in my future. Either way, have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next video, you take care of yourself now. It is summer of 2026. The semifinals or the quarterfinals of the World Cup is starting today. France is going to be playing Morocco. I think they have started they started about 4 minutes ago, if they're on time. So I'm going to watch that game right now. So until the next video, take care now. All right, bye bye.